So it's 2 a.m. past 2 a.m. now, and Luke Cage comes out today. I can't wait to watch that. I'm gonna make sure I watch at least the first episode before going to bed. Um, and I have work tomorrow, so it might not be the best idea. But I mean, when Daredevil season 2 came out, I stayed up like all night, marathoning as much as I could of that. Although I intended to call out that day, um, but my boss wasn't really having it. He was kind of being like a bitch. So I was like, whatever. So I went in. Um, but this time just one episode, and then I'll go to bed. It really sucks living on the East Coast in regards to things coming out like at midnight, because it never means midnight for us. It always means midnight for the other coast. So that's 3 a.m. for us. So that's always like a drag. But since I was awake, I decided to just make a video to pass the time. And first off, thank everyone for watching and liking and supporting the Birth by Sleep abridged videos. That's really cool seeing all the positive feedback on that. Me and my friends have a really fun time doing it, and yeah, it's just great having it get done, because I tried to get it done like 5 years ago. Like, I started to write the script like back when Birth by Sleep was still kind of coming out in America. I think it was like 2011, I guess, like the summer of that time, around then. I'm not sure. But yeah, I didn't have like a good microphone, a good editing program. I didn't have like a lot of friends who were willing to help, and the script back then was god awful. I'm really glad that I didn't put it out then, because it's definitely a lot better how it is now as opposed to then. So we should all be glad that we don't have to deal with the original version of the script. It's terrible. But yes, thank you everyone for liking the series. And episode 5 is gonna be out in a couple weeks. Episode 5, 4 and 5 are my current favorites. Because the stuff in Radiant Garden is really fun, and it's really cool having like an actual cast of like more than just myself. Like episodes 4 and 5 combined, if you include all the Radiant Garden stuff, I think I have like 11 people total playing different characters. Like, there's me as Ventus and Vanitas, someone as Terra, Aqua, Alias, Kyrie's grandma, Kyrie herself, Lee and Isa, Braig, Xehanort, Mickey. That's already 10. I'm not sure if I'm missing someone else. But yeah, no, it's great having an actual cast. It's always fun. But yeah, so since I'm just trying to pass the time, and it's already been like 4 minutes about in this video, I've been playing 2.5 recently. And by recently, I mean earlier today and yesterday. I was just bored. I haven't touched this game in a long time. Because one, I was trying to like look at the cutscenes in Birth by Sleep to help like write the script for future abridged episodes. Because I'm currently writing stuff for episode, what is it now? Because episode 5 is coming out, so it would be 6 and 7. I'm currently writing 6 and 7, and I already have stuff written for future installments, like the Keyblade Graveyard. I have some little things worked out, but yeah, I was just trying to figure out what to write in those episodes, and I was just playing around because I've platinumed Birth by Sleep HD, and I've completed the journal in Kingdom Hearts 2 HD, Final Mix, whatever. I haven't gotten a platinum yet because I haven't done like the gummy ship stuff, and I think there's one trophy for like skateboarding. I don't know. but I haven't platinumed it yet. But as far as the journal and the game itself goes, it's complete. So there's not really anything to do. So all I really do is fight the data replicas nowadays if I ever turn it on. And at that, I only fight Data, Marluxia, and Larxene, sometimes Lexius, because those are just the easiest ones for me. For Marluxia, because he's my favorite organization member, when I fought his absent silhouette, I made sure to memorize all of his fight patterns, because he was the toughest absent silhouette. And so I memorized all of his patterns. So when I got to his data replica, and I guess of course the patterns are switched up a bit between the silhouette and the replica fights, but by the time I got to his data replica, I had already memorized all of his movements, so I was able to win in like 1 or 2 fights. And I can always beat Larxene in just one try. She's really easy. You just reflect everything. That's all you do in her fight. People are always saying how she's one of the hardest, but I've never had any problem with her. The hardest ones for me are Vexen, Zexion, and Xemnas, because they're just assholes. And Axel's the only one I haven't beaten, like, legitimately. I beat him by using that Fenrir thing, where it's just kind of like you trap him in an endless combo and he can't break free until his HP runs out, and then you win by default. That's the only way that I've been able to beat him. Same as Lingering Will. I've only ever beaten him because of that exploit, you know? Like, it's not even really a glitch. It's more of just like a I don't even know what to call it. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a glitch. But yeah, anyway. So, I was just playing this, and it was just here. I decided to make a video. I've kind of lost track of what the video was going to be about at this point, because I've just been rambling for like 7 minutes. But 2.5 HD, it's cool. I like how they're releasing the HD sets. I'm definitely looking forward to 2.8. The Aqua stuff looks beautiful, as does back cover. I think I was just gonna make a video talking about what I don't like about 2.5, because there's a lot that I do like, obviously. But I guess just to nitpick, to waste time until Luke Cage comes out. It's 2:30 now, so there's gonna be another 31 minutes until it's viewable. I'm not gonna make this a 31 minute long video, of course. But yeah, first off, as far as Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix HD goes, and that's all these names are obnoxious now. Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix HD, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix HD, Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8, Final Chapter Prologue 0.2 Birth by Sleep, a fragmentary passage. That's stupid. that's obnoxious as shit. But yeah, I was disappointed at how lazy the Final Mix content was in terms of the localization and adapting. Because, you know, everyone who plays Kingdom Hearts was looking forward to Final Mix. Final Mix Kingdom Hearts 2 is like the ultimate Kingdom Hearts experience as far as some people go, and it definitely is a crazy adventure, you know, Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. Because original vanilla Kingdom Hearts 2, I don't care for it at all. I don't care for Kingdom Hearts 2 in general overall. I feel like it's one of the weakest installments. But Final Mix does improve it a lot, and it does make the overall experience a lot better. It definitely lives up to its hype, I guess you could say. So of course everyone always wanted Final Mix to be brought over outside of Japan, playable in English. And, you know, it's been like 10 years now. The people who wanted to play it the most, they had already found a way to play it long before 2.8, 2.5 came out, you know. But it's always nice to actually get it officially in English, all dubbed and localized. But yeah, I was disappointed at that process because it just seemed like they half-assed a lot of stuff. Uh, like, first off, there's things like Sora's limit form where they didn't even translate his attack names correctly. Like, his like Sora's standard most memorable attack names like Strike Raid and Ragnarok, Ars Arcanum. They didn't even translate those attack names correctly when they're in like every other game. Like they're Sora's like signature moves pretty much. And that's because like Genie, when you summon Genie in some form, apparently, well, not apparently. I do know this. I did look it up and play it in the game. But Genie has attack names that are the same in Japanese as Sora's attack names, and so they just cut and paste Genie's attack names apparently into Sora's limit form. I think that's how it was. I'm not even 100% sure at this point. Like, I'm just making a video. I didn't like plan this out or anything. But yeah, they definitely mistranslated his attack names, or rather, not mistranslate. I'm pretty sure that they are what they say in terms of katakana to English. I'm sure that what they say is correct in terms of that, but it's not the correct localized term. It's like if Misty was called Kasumi in one Pokemon game. It's like it's not wrong, but it's not what is consistent with the English translation. Like in Digimon. In the new Digimon Tri stuff, like Omegamon is called Omnimon in English, not Omega, but like in the Digimon Tri movie, Alphamon shows up, so it's like Alphamon versus Omegamon, Alpha Omega, but in English it's called Omnimon, so that gets like defeated. That whole kind of joke gets lost in translation. So I was wondering what they were gonna do for the dub, and in the dub they did still use Omnimon because that is his dub name. So it's like you have to be consistent with these things when you're localizing like a long series like this. You have to make sure that you're using the correct translations where they apply. Like it's kind of annoying when they aren't consistent like that. So little things like that, and then I think there was an inconsistency with like the actual description of limit form. And again, like, it's not that the translation was off, but it's like, if you look at the description for, like, Valor, Wisdom, Master, like, the sentence is always the same, except, like, they switch out just, like, the word Wisdom, Master, Valor, whatever. And so, like, it should continue that pattern for limit form, but it's like when they typed in the description, like, the pattern, they didn't notice there was a pattern in how the other forms were described. So what they wrote isn't wrong, but it doesn't like fit the format. That kind of bugged me. And then the ending credits of Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, they're not the credits of Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix. They're the exact credits of vanilla Kingdom Hearts 2 PS2 version, English version of that. Just literally just copy and pasted into widescreen format, so it's like kind of stretched out, kind of blurry. It looked really bad, and like at the end when the logo shows up, it doesn't even say Final Mix. Like that felt really lazy to me. They did do that with the original 1.5. They did do it, but only for the Japanese version, because I got both the Japanese and English 1.5s. And when I played the Japanese version of 1.5, I noticed how the ending credits for Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix and Chain of Memories were both just upscaled versions of the PS2 scenes. And so they were blurry, and you know how they always have like cutscenes and stuff playing in the background nowadays. And for Chain of Memories, they had like the characters walking behind the credits, and it was blurry as fuck in the Japanese version, because they didn't bother to actually recreate the credits. They just copy and pasted the actual scene. But then for the English version, they fixed that. In the English version, they actually redid it so that it was HD and that it looked good. And I appreciated that because I was like, hey, no, they caught their mistake. They realized how ugly and blurry that and low res that was in the Japanese version, and then they fixed it for the English version. But then for Kingdom Hearts 2 or 2.5, they did not do that, and the credits for Kingdom Hearts 2 HD are not HD, you know? And it's really something they do for all the pre-rendered cutscenes, because there's a difference between pre-rendered cutscenes and like in-game cutscenes. Like the game, like most cutscenes in Kingdom Hearts 2 and Kingdom Hearts 1 and Birth by Sleep, you know, it's all like rendered as you play, I guess you could say, because depending on like what Keyblade you have and what clothes you're wearing, like if you're in Master Form or Wisdom Form, the cutscene will change according to that specification. And it would be cool in Kingdom Hearts 3 if your items are actually visible, like your accessories. It would be cool if that all changed in the cutscenes too, so you could see all your different pendants and jewelry, assuming that Kingdom Hearts 3 does have accessories like that, which it should, because 1 and 2 both have it, and it's another full length game. It's not Birth by Sleep, so they gotta do that. But yeah, so there's a difference between those two kinds of cutscenes, and for the in-game cutscenes, of course, they're all going to be in HD because they're, you know, that's just the game. But then for the pre-rendered cutscenes, like all the secret endings, like blank points, and all the CGI openings and endings, and for the scene in Hollow Bastion where they first see Xemnas appearing right before they fight the 1000 Heartless, that's all pre-rendered, and you can visibly tell that it's still kind of blurry, that it's kind of just an upscaled version of the original game, especially in blank points, because Aqua's model in HD is a lot better looking than her original model in Birth by Sleep. Like, her hair is different, it's a lot more vibrant and blue. It's obviously just an upscale, and it's the same thing for the final mix stuff for Birth by Sleep. Like the first cutscene for the final mix content, when it shows Aqua walking up to Ansem, and then like it rewinds and does all that stuff. Although it's only for that part. After that, when she's actually in the Dark Realm, I'm fairly sure that's all in game. But no, yeah, all the pre-rendered cutscenes are all, none of them were really redone for the HD versions, and that's kind of disappointing. I mean, like, as far as the CGI, like, openings and endings go, they look pretty good. They already looked good in the first place. Yeah, it was kind of disappointing. And again, these are just small nitpicks. And then there's the actual box art, which I don't care for at all. The box art just looks like a bunch of just separate pictures kind of like arranged in like some kind of paint program. Like, I don't know, it's just a really ugly box art. Like, Xehanort barely looks like Xehanort. I mean, it's obviously him, of course, but like, he just looks so ugly. And then it's like, Ansem is not even in these games, and I know he's just there because, you know, he's half of Xehanort, like how Xemnas is. It's just to balance it, but it's still ugly. And then, like, Kairi is in here, Naminé is in here. Like, Naminé is kind of like the central force of Recoded, kind of. Like, she's the reason behind everything. And then, like, just, like, it's like Sora in the middle, and then there's Goofy and Donald, and then there's Roxas. And, that, like, the balance is off, because there's two on one side, one on the other. And then you go up and it's Aqua, and then on one side there's Terra, Data Sora, and Data Riku. That's 3 people. And then on her other side is Ventus and Mickey. That's 2 people. It's like, it's just really off balance, and it's really annoying to me. And again, it's just really ugly. The cover for 1.5 is great. I like that. It's simple, and it gets its job done. And the cover for 2.8 coming out also looks pretty good. It's kind of a spoiler if you haven't already played Dream Drop Distance. It's kind of like a major spoiler. But as far as covers go, it's not bad. But yeah, and then another nitpick. In Birth by Sleep, if you go into the Trinity Archives to the timeline and select the secret episode stuff, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, because there's like last episode or final episode and then like secret episode. The formatting for that entry is just terrible. It's like if this is like the box for the journal, like every other archive report, the words are all like formatted to the box. But for this, it's like not all the way. It like ends like 3/4 of the way through the paper. Like it's just formatted really ugly, and it frustrates me. And like it's a shame to me, just because these are such small things that it's like they really could have fixed these things so easily. Like it's just formatting, it's just putting. I mean, I'm not a game expert. I don't know how any of this works, of course, but most of it, a lot of it is just not fact checking. That's the main concern. And then there's the new cutscenes, because in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix HD, or not even HD, but in Final Mix in general, there's all those new cutscenes with like the organization members meeting and Axel and Naminé leaving Twilight Town. And I was looking forward to those scenes. And as far as the actual script goes, it's good. Like it's amazing having those scenes actually finally dubbed in English, with everyone's corresponding voice actors, except for Naminé, and it's just so frustrating for someone who just wants things to be consistent. Because in Kingdom Hearts 2, Naminé is voiced by Brittany Snow, and in every other game, she's voiced by Megan Martin. And in Kingdom Hearts 2, it's been like 10 years since that game kind of came out, and they had to get back everyone for those new cutscenes. But of course, Brittany Snow does not voice Naminé anymore. So there was this one new scene with Naminé. So I was like, are they really going to just have Megan Martin redub all of Naminé's stuff? Or are they going to just have Brittany Snow but Megan in one scene? And that's what they did. And that's really annoying, having two people play the same character in the same work. And I understand why they had to do it. It just frustrates me, because like with the Days movie, because in the original Days, Christopher Lee voiced Ansem, Diz, but Christopher Lee had not been actually like voicing him since then, and he's passed away now, which is unfortunate. So for the movie, they redubbed all of Diz's stuff with Corey Burton, who is his stand-in. Not really even a stand-in at this point. He's his official guy. So for the Days movie, they redubbed everything with Corey Burton, which wasn't like a lot, because the original Days game had like maybe 16 cutscenes, 16 voiced cutscenes. So I was wondering if they were going to do the same thing here, but they didn't, and so that was frustrating. I did like how all of Diz's extra scenes in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix are all scenes from Days, which is the only other game Chris Lee had recorded in. So even though Chris Lee doesn't do it anymore, they already had all of his voice work from Days for all of those specific cutscenes that they needed. So that was great. I like how that lucked out like that. That was cool. But my main problem was with the actual audio quality. You can tell if you listen to any of the cutscenes, any of the Final Mix cutscenes, you can tell there's a definite difference in audio quality. It's really kind of frustrating. My friend pointed out that it's probably because the audio is more compressed. That I don't really know much about audio, which is weird considering I do all this voiceover stuff. But that does make sense to me, and it was very jarring, because like when you listen to it, you can't really tell what the issue is, but you know something's wrong. When I was listening to those scenes for the first time, I was like, are they using just like a bad microphone? Because it kind of sounds kind of scratchy and kind of low quality, and it really bugged me because everything else, every other cutscene from the original game just sounds so crisp, and clear. But for the new cutscenes, everything just sounded so lower quality, and I was like, that's really annoying. But yeah, if the audio was more compressed and they just put it in like that, that would make sense. I just don't know why they would do that. It's really kind of annoying to me. Because it's like you go from like a scene where everyone sounds great, and then you go to this brand new scene and the audio is just kind of slightly off. And I feel like a lot of people wouldn't really notice it, but I notice it, and it kind of hurts my ears to some extent. And you can kind of experience the same kind of problem in the Recoded movie, which makes me think that they kind of recorded all the new stuff like around the same time, and they didn't really care about how it sounded as long as it was getting done and put in the new game. Yeah, it's just small things like that kind of frustrate me. Overall, it's great having the final mixes in English officially translated and everything. It's really great, and I definitely cannot wait until 2.8 comes out. And I definitely can't wait until Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, but that won't be for a long time. Yeah, so it's 2:50 now, so I have been rambling on for about half an hour. And Luke Cage is going to come out in 10 minutes, and I will watch one episode, and then I will go to bed. One, because it'll be 4 a.m., and I'll probably be pretty tired, and two, because I have alcohol, and that will definitely make me tired. And then I will wake up and hopefully not call out of work. As an aside, it's raining here, and whenever it's a rainy day, I always feel kind of happier. I don't know, it's kind of weird. Like, the rain just kind of mellows me out. Like, it's peaceful, I guess. Like, just like the sound of rain makes things more tranquil. Because the other day it rained, and I only had like 2 or 3 hours of sleep, but I still felt so refreshed to go to work. And I'm thinking it was because of the rain. So even if I do only get like a few hours of sleep tonight, I feel like I'll still feel pretty good tomorrow for going to work, because of the rain. And it's going to be raining all weekend, so that's cool. I always like rainy weather, just because it gives you an excuse to stay indoors and do nothing. And I'm going to try to write more of the script for the next Birth by Sleep episodes that are going to come out. So yeah, so thanks for watching, and I hope you guys are looking forward to the next episodes of Birth by Sleep Abridged as much as I am. And hopefully my work ethic will not deplete halfway through the series, and hopefully I'll be able to finish all of Birth by Sleep Abridged, and then hopefully I can do like 0.2 abridged and back cover abridged and Dream Drop Distance abridged and all the other games. I don't know. Definitely not all the other games, but maybe Dream Drop Distance, because I have a few funny ideas for some of those cutscenes. And yeah, we'll see how things go. Thanks for watching.